Charity Begins at Home by Hudlin. This is a love story about my grandfather, Percy Richard Lane, born in Barbados, West Indies on December 26, 1930. A builder by trade who understood why a structure had to be built, for it had to weather the seasons of life and times of change. And my grandmother, Doris Lucy Roberts, born in Brooklyn, New York on January 20th, 1928. A woman of virtue, whose love and commitment to her family, as well as her strong belief in her faith, weathered the storms and nurtured a legacy. My grandparents were married on September 7, 1963, in Brooklyn, New York. They shared a passion to help others and instilled that desire of service to their children and grandchildren. I remember hearing stories about my grandfather, who built homes, but who more importantly was a builder of lives. He secured many of his family's passage to America from Barbados in hopes of building a better life for themselves and their families. He strengthened young men's character and mentored many young apprentices in the secrets of his craft. It was very important to my grandparents that their extended family reach their goal in life. They made many personal sacrifices to support their dreams by contributing to their education. They housed family and fed all that sat at their table. I was constantly reminded that having a positive impact on just one life meant your living would not be in vain. Over the years, they gave to so many unselfishly, and still always made their children and grandchildren a priority. I look forward to spending time with my grandparents. I remember feeling so special, so loved by them. Spending time with my grandpa, sharing mangoes as we sat in the sunroom and talked about whatever came to mind, was one of my favorite things to do. My grandmother was a terrific cook and seamstress by trade. She passed down her simple recipes and taught me how to sew my first button on a coat. On Saturday mornings, you could always smell the scent of fresh baked bread and saltfish, and I would be at the kitchen table propped up on a pillow kneading the dough. I would look forward to those quiet afternoons where Grandpa would sit down and tell stories about his younger days and his hopes and dreams for his family. He would remind us that we were thoroughbreds, and with a little perseverance, nothing was impossible. My grandmother was a closet comedian and always knew how to make me laugh. Even as her health deteriorated, she comforted the family with her sense of humor and optimism. To her, nothing was ever as bad as it seemed, and there was always a brighter day coming. I realized as time went on that this special couple who gave so much to me needed my help. I believe I was about 10 years old when I first observed my grandparents struggling to read labels on items at the grocery store. I never thought before then that the possibility of them not being in my life existed, but for the first time, it was something that I seriously started to consider. The inevitable consequences of aging suddenly became apparent to me in my Nana's slowing gait and my grandpa's failing eyesight. I knew then that they needed my help, and therefore I told my parents I wanted to spend weekends with them. I gave up weekend excursions to the mall and playdates with my friends in exchange for grocery shopping, household chores, and just spending time with my grandparents. It never occurred to me that our time together would be so short. Plagued with terminal illnesses, they passed away in 2006, much too soon. I am, however, eternally grateful that I had the opportunity to spend the time I did with them, gaining wisdom and creating lasting memories. The experience of caring for my grandparents has had a profound impact on me. I was tremendously saddened at their passing, yet at the same time, I felt a great satisfaction at having made the sacrifices that I did to be of service to them in their time of need. The impact of that experience has fueled my passion for service to others. My goal is to one day become a caring, compassionate, well-prepared, thoughtful physician whose impact on society is great. I'm confident that my passion for learning, coupled with my commitment to caring for others, will be an amazing tribute to my grandparents, Richard and Doris Lane, who taught me that charity truly begins at home, but shouldn't have to end there.